No, they can trust me too.
So talk. See how you're live? Really live? Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, we are really live. And so this is our introductory session for Straight Talk with Ed and Doc. This is Ed right here in this really
Hello.
fancy outfit. And I'm Doc in maybe not such a fancy outfit. My name's Norm Goldberg, and this is Ed Blaha. We basically are going to be starting a YouTube video, which will be to do straight talk about various subjects. Some of those subjects may be serious. Some of those subjects will be funny. We are going to promote people-based topics that will interest people.
Can I interrupt?
No, don't
interrupt. I got to interrupt you just once. Because you know what? We're testing the mics too. So I want to see if we can argue and talk at the same time and they can hear.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
fine.
Can they hear us?
I don't know.
I don't know. Last night's show on Facebook, we didn't.
We didn't, and you're right. And in any case, so we'll do the mics if people have any comments about us, including whether the technical part is good or
I
not.
I want to ask you people.
Yeah.
Can you just call in and tell me who looks older, me or him? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, who looks older now? Okay.
I used to be a policeman, and if I saw that thing on the street, I'd shoot it dead.
Yeah, well, we've come to learn how to recognize people with masks on, which will be one of our themes, of course, me being the doc. We'll tell you some of our interests and some of our backgrounds, perhaps. I think that would be a good idea.
Well, for me, my background is I did a lot of things. I worked in factories. I got my wings when I became a merchant sailor back in '71. I basically for 3 years worked on different types of ships, tankers, freighters,
right,
ferries.
Traveled the world.
Pretty close. And
almost got killed.
I've hitchhiked across Canada.
Yeah.
I was one of those 66 hippies, not a hippie. I was just an experimenter.
Okay.
But I've also been a policeman for 15 years. I did stints in almost everything, and I was a pretty good cop. I got a lot of publicity, and I got some more publicity. If you ever want to watch a video, go to Copper's documentary on YouTube. It's on TVO. If people know where TVO is, it's
TV Ontario.
TV Ontario.
Yeah, we should actually tell people where we're coming from too.
And we're right now we're in Markham. That's just on
Markham, Ontario, Canada.
Just outside of Toronto, maybe a couple of miles.
Just east of Toronto, basically.
Yeah, right. We're both well educated. I have a grade 3 education. No, I'm joking. The doc got educated in
Montreal.
In Montreal, I grew up in Montreal. I speak a little bit of French, and so does the doc.
Yes.
And here we are, and we're mixing a doctor and a cop.
Well, before you're done, you also did the paralegal.
Oh yeah, I was paralegal. In fact, the paralegals, to those of you in the States, are different than up here. I've done criminal matters in court for the past 30 years. I've done, we have traffic tickets and different laws, different bylaws, liquor bylaws and stuff like that.
Right.
And I've done that for 30 years. And now I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. And I intend for you people to have fun, because sometimes I do some foolish little things. And I'll make you laugh on a serious note.
So that would be one of our themes, to try and encourage people to be active, be happy. We have good things happening in the world. We have bad things happening in the world. We'll discuss all of those things. But in the end, we try and move on with our lives and enjoy ourselves. And we'll present different topics. We'll have some celebrities. We'll present certain topics that are relevant to the age. The times, like now, for example, we have the COVID issue, and we can talk about different aspects of that. We very much welcome people to come online and to reply, to talk to us, to comment.
I just remembered something from last night's show.
What was that?
Do you remember I told that place that wouldn't we had an argument over it?
Yeah.
That they wouldn't close. They had people coming in still.
Yeah.
Crowds and crowds.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I said, give them 24 hours and they'll lock them down.
Well, he did.
They did
They
this
lock
morning.
them
It was
down,
right on about that. Lock them down.
Yeah.
You were for him doing that. And
Well, we were talking about a gentleman who opened up his restaurant in defiance of police orders because he felt that it was unfair that his restaurant was closed, but a lot of big box stores and other businesses who already were wealthy were still open, and he was making that point, and I think he did make the point, although it was taken by the powers that be as a breaking of the law, pure and simple. So he was shut down. But I think he raised a good point, and
they charged him with all kinds of charges
That's
today.
right. That's
on
right.
top of the charges for that they gave him the other
That's
day.
right.
And I'm positive, if he opens up, they actually put the padlocks on
A
today.
new lock. That's right.
And I'm sure if he reopens again, the guy won't get out of jail.
Well,
That's for sure. He won't get out
well,
of jail until this.
I hope that doesn't happen because I think
Well-
there'll be a hue and cry because the guy really shouldn't deserve all that.
I think he does because he's putting people at drift. There we go with the
Okay, that's
argument.
fine. Anyway, we're gonna have a lot of controversial topics too. We're gonna argue with each other. We argue a lot with each other. That's fine. The main thing is if you have feedback.
See,
Feel
I'm
free to
bigger than
come
he is, but he's smarter than me. He's the doctor.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're smarter. I think it's just different.
I am smart, not smarter. I just said that.
But different smarts. You got the smarts from school plus the world. I got smarts from school and my patients. Right?
Did you have-
Yeah, I learned from my patients.
well, I know none of your patients have ever died, too. I noticed that.
Yeah, well, yeah, fat chance of that.
Actually,
but,
the doc is basically in Canada. He's probably one of the activists in the marijuana for medical purposes.
let's just say I have an interest in marijuana. I promote it a lot, and I do recommend it for a lot of people for a lot of things. In fact, I'll go one step further and say that I would recommend it for recreational purposes. Let's face it, we have recreational drugs. We all have tried alcohol. We've all tried maybe cannabis, maybe other things. The point is, we humans have always been living with recreational drugs, and if you're going to take a recreational drug, there's no question that cannabis is much safer than alcohol. No question.
Well,
So that's my bit right off the bat. If anybody has any comments about that,
well,
feel
we
free to tell me.
intend to. We have a grow license in Canada. The federal government gives you a grow license, a personal grow license, and what the doctor does is he evaluates people that come in, and if required and if he can, he writes them a prescription to
Right.
grow up to 1,000 plants you can grow.
Well, it depends. I mean,
Depending,
if some
yeah.
people are using it for personal extraction, they're extracting the cannabinoids or the cannabis chemicals, then we obviously give them big prescriptions so they can be able to harvest large amounts and do the process.
In other words, you're going to actually see how it's done. The doctor's going to do one, and on the air and on TV, however you want to call this. Anyway, it's an entertaining show because you're going to get me butt in every once in a while and maybe crack a joke and or maybe say something serious that people want to hear.
We're going to orient the show to mature people. I wouldn't necessarily say seniors, but I'd say mature people who have lived like us. We've had our lives. We may have had our kids. We may be still working. We may be retired. We may be retired and looking for something else to do. So we'll be presenting various guests who would be interested in things like that, and also we'll be presenting, I think, a fair bit of controversy. We'll be talking about some controversial
And
topics.
I can promise you there will be some good laughs.
And laughs.
I promise you that.
We want to keep it funny. We want to keep it lighthearted.
And
Even
serious, but serious.
Well,
serious stuff.
even some of the serious topics do have some funny aspects to it. Let's face it. Every time there is something serious going on in the world, there's some kind of humor coming out of something or other.
We may be going over some of the Canadian laws, the immigration laws, as we have lawyers working with us, and also on legal for 30 years. We've got lawyers working for us for accident injury. And I know all the rules in different countries, in different states, in different provinces are different. But we can only deal with what we are dealing with.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know the laws outside of Canada, and I don't have time to go around and learn them all. And I don't think anybody does.
If somebody out of Canada has, or even in other parts of Canada, have some interest in terms of the politics of their neighborhood, some issues that have arisen that have affected them personally, I'd be very interested, and Ed too would be very interested in listening to those
That's right.
things and getting some feedback and from us and voicing our opinions and finding out what other people have in their opinions.
Just to let you know, I am very pro-police, even though I work the other side of the fence,
Mhm.
as I was a police officer for 15 years, and I did many things when I was on the job. Like, you name it, I did it.
You know what? I think in police, the word police has gotten a bad rap in the last few years. But I think if you called yourself a peace officer, that makes much more sense, don't you think?
Now I don't swear usually, but fuck police officer. I was a policeman.
Yeah, but
I'm not interested in the new names
But
today.
you're promoting the peace, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Peace on earth.
Yeah.
We're coming to Christmas.
So you're a
We gotta
fucking
have peace
police
on earth.
officer who promotes the peace. That's fine.
Sometimes the police get mad at me, and there's no question about it, because they come in and they want to talk to one of my clients, and I basically tell them that they can't do it. In other words, fuck off, right? And I do talk a lot like that, and I don't know why I talk a lot like that.
Because you're a sailor.
No, because I think my secretary taught me that. She swears a lot.
Your secretary?
Yeah.
Our current secretary?
Can you hear her swear?
I can swear that you were talking like that before the secretary. So it wasn't.
Oh, is that right? You think I was talking
maybe
like that?
Maybe it was an older secretary, not our secretary.
The old ones don't last long with
She's
me.
very, very nice. Our current secretary has been very, very good so far. If it wouldn't be for her, we wouldn't have this YouTube on.
Well, that's right, too. I mean, we ain't so fucking smart, are we?
Yeah, I'd be still taking Polaroid pictures right now. So, there we go. So that's
and we're not perverts, but sometimes we'll talk like a pervert, but we're not perverts.
No, we're not perverts. But you know what? I have to say we do accept. We would be accepting a lot of different points of view.
Oh, any point of view can.
Right.
If you have something you want to bitch about, and we know something about it, you can bet you're going to hear back.
Okay, let's put it this way. Maybe we shouldn't call it perverted. Maybe we should call it, if somebody's interested in some kind of kink that they have, whatever that
kinky?
is. Yeah, kink. You know, they have that show.
Okay, if you're a little kinky, please call us, and I'll give you my home phone number. Okay.
Well, they had that show a few years ago, which was, people were falling in love with their cars and kissing their cars and all that kind of thing.
Was disgusting.
It was very
I didn't
weird.
do a show like that.
It was very weird, I know. But that's what I mean. I mean, there are people who have these kind of weird kind of things that they want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, we like to talk about weird things.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're very open to that.
If you've seen a spaceship, I want to know.
Yeah.
If you've seen our premier, our prime minister, if you've seen him doing some dirty things with other people, I want to know, because I don't like him.
Or if you think he's a space cadet.
Oh, he is a space cadet.
Yeah.
Well, we know that.
That's fine.
He used to be a librarian, eh? I don't know if you people out there know that.
Well, he may have been a good librarian, but he's not that terribly good prime minister.
I have a feeling that he didn't read any of those books while he was going to university. Daddy paid the teachers on.
Well, he had a cushy background.
Very cushy. Like he doesn't know anything that's out on the street.
Yeah.
And as far as the Americans are concerned, Donald Trump should have won. And I don't care what anybody says. Anybody coming out of the corner with his gloves off, and that's what he did. And he made promises, and he kept most of them, if not all of them.
I have to agree with that, although I'm not a Trump fan at all.
Well, his personality, he comes out, he's a battler. I mean, he may have been born with a silver spoon in his mouth, but he's no Justin Trudeau, right? There's no way he's a pussy.
Well, that's fine. He has big kahunas. There's no question about that.
You don't hear about him stealing.
Not yet. We may afterwards. We may find out what he.
I don't think so. I think he's above that.
Well, don't forget right now. Okay, just to quickly go through this. I don't want we want to kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
But the thing is that right now he's president. He has control of all the strings. and he's pulling and pushing those strings. So right now, you're not going to hear about it. When he's gone, and he's going to be gone soon, obviously in another 2-3 months, he'll be gone. At that point, when some of the investigations, some of the background, some of the books are opened, I think we'll find out much more about what he did and what he didn't do. You know, of course, from my point of view as a doctor, what he didn't do is he grossly neglected looking after his citizens in terms of COVID. I know you disagree.
I disagree,
Yeah,
because it's the same as here. The prime minister is saying it's not my fault. It's the and basically,
well, one thing.
Basically,
yeah.
Basically, the premier runs it. The premier of each province runs it.
Yes, that was true. They're
the ones that hold the votes.
But even if you look at that aspect of it, Trump did not give the state governments enough money to run the show. The state governments had to do most of the work. At least in Canada, Trudeau doled out tons and tons of money. Maybe he should have been a little more careful.
He doled out enough of it to himself, didn't he?
Well, that's the other controversy that we can bring up some point, which we've done on our Facebook.
Yes, I get very angry when I think about Comrade Trudeau.
Anybody's interested in the We controversy in Canada, you can look that one up. That's still ongoing. Of course, he's trying to suppress it. But
he should be in jail for treason.
Well, for that, there was a fair bit of what do you call it, pork barreling, I think you can call it with that. So, but that's another story. But
I have no love for him or our mayor, Toronto, Mr. Tory, because he's the same boat. He doesn't care about the people out there. But I truly believe that Trump himself had loyalty to his people, big time. I really believe that, and I think when it all comes out, said and done, everybody's going to wish that they had Trump back.
Well, I would partially agree with that. I think Trump had loyalty to his people from the point of view of business. So he was trying to improve the economy, which is his forte. He's a businessman, so he's looking at the whole country as a big business, trying to get the budget going, trying to get people's salaries.
I just say I like the guy.
That he did. I mean, my son-in-law is in finance, and he loves Trump because of what he did to the economy. That's great. But let's face it. The country is not just economy, the country's people. And he divided the people terribly. He created violence. He created people fighting against other people. He's trying to fight some of these left and right wing groups, but he's the one who actually
invited them in.
Invited them, exactly. He's the one who fired the flames for these right and left wingers to come in and fight each other and fight the moderates in the United States. And of course, it spread to some degree in Canada too, not as much because Canadians are so much more polite. Canadians are so much more polite people. But I got a
little bit of a cartoon this morning about Trump, and it was something to the effect. How did it go? It cracked me up. He's talking to his daughter, and she says, "What are we going to do, Dad, if something happens? Where are we going to go?"
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He says, "Well, we're going to go to Russia."
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't matter to me.
Well, that would.
Well, you got to figure out, and I think it's all going to come into play, and then in another 100 years, the whole world will probably be one. In other words, instead of having a province, they're going to have a continent. Or instead of having a state, they're going to have a continent.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. But
I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah. Although, the reason why countries are separate is because people have different environmental experiences and various different foods and various needs.
But Canada is the best place in the world.
One of the best places. I agree.
Still is.
Yeah. One of the best places. We could use a little bit.
I thought you said once, but no, I thought you said once. No, but it's the best country in the world. And I've traveled.
Why would you say that?
I've traveled most of the world. I've seen people dying on the street. I've seen machines going off 6 feet away, machine guns going off 6 feet away from me. I've been to Vietnam. I've seen the mess that the war left.
You've seen that.
I've seen everything, and I've almost got myself killed a few times because I was
involved. You're in the middle of it.
Well, sort of. Not really, but sort of.
Sort of. We can talk about that one day.
We can talk about that.
But why would you say Canada is one of the best countries?
because here I am, right? 150, even 50 years ago.
Mhm.
Would a Christian? I'm not really a Christian, but I'm a little bit more of a.
You're a humanist.
I'm a humanist.
Okay.
But can a Jew and a Catholic sit together?
Sure. My wife and I sit together all the time.
Back 50 years ago.
That would have been tough.
That would have been tough.
Really
It would have been tough. It would have been tough for the Jew, and it would have been tough for the
Catholic.
criticism.
Yeah. That's right. It'd been pretty tough in those days.
Oh yeah, when I learned, Canada has a way of hiding these things, and I didn't find out a lot of things till I was in my 50s.
Yeah.
And when I started going through it, I found it hard to believe that things like that could happen in Canada.
Like what? Things like what?
Well, people being shot because they were Jewish. You go down. People being chastised.
I mean, not in Canada. They weren't shot because they're Jewish in Canada.
Oh yes, they were.
What in the 40s?
In the 20s, the 30s. And I know that because my grandmother was Jewish, and nobody knew in the area. And I learned it from a doctor, by the way, one of your guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he was from the same town that my father was and my grandmother was.
Where was that? Here in Montreal?
No, it was in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
And it was they live in a place called Scotchtown, New Waterford.
Okay.
And apparently the doctor came in, he had a traffic ticket or some traffic, and he wanted somebody to represent him. So Enter the Dragon. And we sat down and we discussed it because I was just finding out all this stuff. I was doing some homework. I'm not a computer guy, but I happened to twig in on it. No Jews, no dogs on the beaches here in Toronto. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Right?
So you didn't understand, you didn't realize what
I didn't realize that Canada was just like the fucking Germans.
The only difference is, of course, in Canada, everything is polite. And so it was politely done, right? It was politely done.
They pull a trigger and you go by, right?
You pull the trigger, but you pull the trigger somewhere where nobody would see it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's right.
Or
like old policemen.
Yeah, or maybe there was. I don't know if there were that many signs around that actually said no Jews allowed.
I saw the signs right on the internet. Go look yourself.
In Canada,
right here on the beaches. No Jews, no dogs on the beaches.
I know there were signs like that in different areas of the state.
But it's not only that. You have another group come in. You have the blacks come in.
Right.
And that was back in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, and they're still coming up from different islands.
Yeah.
And they were chastised.
You're talking about the
Caribbean. Caribbean. Yeah. They were chastised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why? Because they were black?
Yeah.
Right? You understand where I'm going?
A black and immigrant.
Italians, Polish, all of us had a kick in the ass.
Yeah.
Try and kick one of us in the ass right now. It isn't going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Well, so
Canada's like, look at me. Look at us.
Yeah.
Could this have happened 50 years ago? Not a chance.
Well, no, because you have no YouTube.
Good answer. Fuck, I knew I was. I knew you were smart.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure they do.
Well, but 50 years ago, there were some controversial things on TV and the radio.
I learned many.
Like when I remember myself when I was a kid, I remember Edward R. Murrow on TV. Right, he was controversial. And what's his name? Cronkite. He's had some documentaries that were really good. Who else? On some of the Today shows, they had some interesting topics sometimes as well.
Did you ever see my documentary, the documentary on?
Yes, the copper one.
Yeah.
Now that's actually a good documentary because it
got good reviews. My daughter.
Well, why don't you talk about it with the coppers? Yeah.
Well, coppers. If you want to see it, you can download it. Unless you're living in Florida, of course, Florida can't get it. But the reviews, no, they can't. For some reason, they're blocked off. And Natalie my daughter has been trying to get to see it, but she gets to see the clips.
Yeah.
But if you see it, it's about what policemen do, other than shoot and kill people.
Yeah.
It's their actual job.
It's what they have to live through.
It's what they have to live through, right. and you know what? It'll open up a lot of people's eyes as to see what a man gives up just to be a policeman.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, they give up their minds.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And this is where you're going to see a bunch of mindless people that because of what they saw. One guy in particular, things floating around the air, chairs and things, and it's documented here in Toronto. And the church got involved. The devil was possessing someone in a place in Scarborough here in Toronto, and he couldn't understand it. He flipped, and all these people were weak minded. Not weak minded. They've seen things, and it affected them more than it does most of the cops.
Something
like, you have to find a way to beat it. I mean, when you see a little baby being killed, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who you are.
Yeah.
Your heart's gonna break.
Well,
and heart's not just gonna break for the baby that's dying or dead. Your heart's gonna break for what he leaves behind.
Yeah.
The dead don't count anymore.
Yeah.
The dead are gone, but what do you leave behind? And you have to be a policeman. You have to really, really be careful and anticipate what may happen to those people. And you have to make them so comfortable, but yet at the same time, you're living the same shit they're living. Yeah. Because you start to get attached to them, or you see something that that really affects you.
It's almost like a PTSD situation.
It is.
Post-traumatic stress
disorder. It is. And a lot of them flip out.
Yeah.
Suicides on the police force.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of them.
Yeah.
All kinds of them. And for stupid reasons. For really stupid reasons. But they get so enveloped in certain things that you get involved, you get deep into it, and it can hurt, and it can. As for me, I had a formula. My formula was make a laugh out of everything. And when you finish all the bad stuff, that's when you start having some fun again. Yeah. You move on right away. And if you don't move on right away, you think about that the rest of your shift and the next day.
It's like a festering wound.
It is. It is a festering wound. And but you have to, some guys let it fester.
Yeah.
I didn't. I never did. I always moved on, had a few laughs, moved on. Took my beating while I was there. When I left there, beating's gone. Now it's time to smile again and have a giggle.
Yeah.
So you find something to make you laugh.
That's right. You have to. That's what being a professional in a certain profession is. The person who takes everything to heart and takes it home with them in their head,
and they do.
Then those people will suffer, because you have to have a professional approach to this. Doesn't mean that you're going to be less of a caring or less of an empathic professional, but you have to. There's a time for the empathy, and there's a time to put it away and go home and
a lot of guys can't put it away,
or just laugh about whatever it was or something like that.
Like
it's not being cruel.
I know that's right. I agree with you. I've had guys that I knew, guys that I worked with that have committed suicide.
Yeah.
Every policeman in the world has.
Doctors too, by the way.
Do a lot of doctors commit suicide?
There's a high rate of suicide with doctors and dentists. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we had two doctors that I can recall since I was working at a hospital in Brampton who committed suicide.
Yeah, well, I can understand that.
And it could have been for underlying reasons. It may not have anything to do at all with their profession, but they committed suicide.
Think about all the patients that you've lost.
Yeah,
to
suicide.
To suicide, have you had?
Well, I can't say a lot. I can remember now about three or four for sure. All very sad cases, as far as I can recall, all unexpected, which is really crazy because they were all unexpected.
That's right.
By the family. And how does that happen? How does someone?
Because you hide it from your family.
You hide it.
You don't want your family to know.
That's right. Well, not only the suicide, but the fact that there was no, some people may have been a little depressed or whatever, but they were still functioning. Then they go ahead, and some of them even without notes, they just go ahead and do something.
It's amazing. It's amazing what the human mind can hold, but it's also amazing what it can lose.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You can train your brain to lose those memories.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you're going to get one that you can't forget about.
Yeah.
Because it was too tragic.
Too tragic.
And I have those stories.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You never forget about them. You think about them. Maybe you don't think about them for a month, but every couple of months you think about that poor little girl, or
Yeah.
and you try to. There's nothing you could do about it, but you just remember it for some reason. It's just.
Or sometimes you could do something about it, but you can't do enough about it to
That's
make a
right.
change.
That's
So you
right.
do your best to fix the problem or to help the people,
But you can't.
but there's a certain limitation.
Yeah. Well,
There's a certain limitation to what you can do. You can't blame yourself for that. You just
I've witnessed so many things with death concerned and hurt. There's people that get hurt out there, get crippled.
Yeah.
Car accidents. Actually, I was a traffic cop for 3 years, so fatalities. I did several fatalities.
That's a big one. Yeah,
that's the big ones. Yeah. And at the same time, I was equipped to do it mentally. So yeah. I had no problems doing it mentally because I've had that in my own life. I've had tragedy in my own life. I lost a sister and a mother and another one with a little bit of brain damage.
Yeah.
All in one car accident, impaired driver, and that's while I was a policeman. So I've endured it, and I understand that end of it. So anyway, I was good with that.
Yeah.
Like I could handle those fatalities because I knew which buttons not to push and how to help them along. It was.
So I'll get. So you can see where Ed's coming, where Ed's background is. Mine is more maybe straightforward. I was born in the States. I grew up in New York City. I moved to Montreal when I was 12 with my family. They bought a business in Montreal. Went to school in Montreal. Had my puberty in Montreal.
Did you?
Yeah.
What a good place to have your puberty.
It was a perfect place. I can't think of a better place to grow up as an adolescent than in Montreal.
Well, it depends. Have you ever been to Venezuela?
No.
Got a great place there.
But then you have to learn Spanish and
just you can talk with your hands.
Sign language.
Sign language.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We can go over the Venezuelan sign language.
I enjoyed Venezuela very much.
So
and Jamaica.
And Jamaica. That's
cool. Jamaica was.
Well, Jamaica's fun. A lot of fun.
Oh, I think especially for me, I was a blonde boy.
Yeah, right.
If you look at my Facebook, you'll see me all nice and blonde. There's a picture of me on one chip. My hair is all blonde, and it's sunlight, yellow blonde. And the girls in Jamaica back in 1971, there were no visitors, but I was a visitor, and I had a good time.
Did we call you a phenomenon yesterday? That was the label we labeled you with.
Who did?
We did. A phenomenon in Jamaica.
I was. Yeah. It was like they'd come up, and Venezuela.
And you had big fingers too, right?
No, they hadn't. I had a lot of fun in Jamaica. I spent the winter down there, and it was 85 degrees down there, where everybody's freezing their nuts off up here.
Yeah, for sure, that would be nice.
Anyway, you're going to get a lot of swearing from me. Not a lot, but you squeeze it in. But you will get a laugh out of me. But you'll also get.
We'll get some serious stuff and some funny stuff.
You'll get a lot of serious stuff out of me. Especially if I get into an argument with him.
Yeah. Well, my background is medicine. Obviously, I'm a family doctor right now. I do I do have a special interest, I would say, in cosmetic stuff, Botox, fillers, medical aesthetics. Definitely a special interest in cannabis use for medical purposes. And,
you live that
and I've been a family doctor for, I think I calculated 46 years so far. So I have some experience, and so any health topics that you're interested in discussing, that'd be great. I mean, specifically now, some of the current topics would be, all the conspiracy theories and whether vaccines are going to be safe with COVID and all that. What should be doing with COVID and all the regulations and laws that people are fighting over. Some of the conspiracy theories relating to that. Some of the politics related to that. I think that's all stuff that we can talk about, and we more than welcome people to express their own interest and comment on whether they agree with us or not. We're good with that. Everybody comes from their own background and they see things different ways. We welcome that here. We want people to talk about that. And one thing, though, we shouldn't be blaming anybody. It's not a question of blaming or accusing people. We could discuss it. We can disagree. Ed and I disagree a lot. That doesn't mean we're not friends. We want the same kind of approach here. We want to be friends. We want to have disagreements. So you can express your attitude, but let's be friends, and we'll talk about different subjects.
And I hope you people call in with questions, or if you have a question now, if anybody's listening, I doubt it. However, we're going to test this video any minute now, and this is the first one. On our next video, which will be 1 week from tonight.
1 week, that's right.
You can tune into Facebook for another one the day before. Go to that. And you can look in my Facebook, and it'll give you all kinds of shit about me. Educated, partly in England, into Montreal, and I got my real education when I joined the police force.
In the force, yeah, that's right.
The real education.
And I got my real education when I started seeing patients.
Well, it's
Not really medical school, but patients.
You're seeing the final. You're seeing the final end of youth right here. And you can call up and ask what it's like.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's just the same as being young, except you're a little bit more sore every day.
But don't forget, a lot more experience.
Yes, that's
a lot
true.
more experience.
That works well with the young ladies about 30 years old, doesn't it? I got a lot more experience. Actually, yeah, but you look like an old man.
Yeah. Well, see, when you may look like an older man, that doesn't mean you can act like an older man. Let's lay that to rest right away. You could look older, and but you don't have to act older.
Well, I'm going to quit smoking on December the 1st. So
good, cool.
The next night, I'm going to be miserable because I won't be smoking for 24 hours. You can check on that.
Cool. That's a good idea.
I have to.
You should have done that a while back, anyway. You should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, but you know what? My bones didn't ache back then. My back was good. Well, my back is still good. I'm pretty good with that.
Your body finally told you to stop smoking.
Oh, my body has been telling me that for friggin' years.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't listen to my body.
Yes, that's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what that was? That's too much alcohol.
You listen to your head more than your body. What your head wants to do.
Oh, no, it depends.
But the little head or the big head? I don't know which head you listen to more.
Well, I used to listen to the smaller head, but I'm old now, so
you don't
I still listen to it.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sorry, listen to it.
I think most guys do.
Listen, but I don't do anything about it.
Till they die.
Okay?
Till they die, they listen to the small head. Eh?
You move that thing there. I don't think we're gonna have good audio.
Well, let's find out. Anyway, we're going to say goodnight, and we're going to be here next week.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, and of course you'll be able to watch us afterwards. It's YouTube after all. So we'll see how we do next week. We'll have some topics for you, and we'll have some more discussion.
Not only that, if you got some good ideas,
that's right.
We're open to it. We're open to ideas.
Yeah.
And what we could do, maybe you have something of interest that would interest you and interest us. If it doesn't interest us, we don't want it.
Yes.
But if it interests you and it interests one of us, it'll be done.
We'll be good at it. That's right.
Because we do everything 50-50 here. It's like a marriage.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not at all like a marriage, but it's 50-50. That's
why I'm not married.
Okay.
I gave that up twice.
Okay, so we shall call it a night then.
And if you have any beautiful women around 35 that want to meet me, I have no problem meeting them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay with you?
I'll
advertise.
that. Yeah, you can advertise all you want. Anything.
Well, I don't go to those dating things.
Well, this is better than dating. You're showing your face. You have a YouTube video. You're telling people what you're like.
I'm scared of girls away because my face looks like a basket of smashed assholes.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yes, it does.
Not a basket. Maybe like a group, a trio.
I don't care what I look like as long as I'm having fun.
Yeah.
If I'm not having fun, I don't want to do it. And most guys our age are getting ready for bed right now.
That's right.
And they're saying, "Oh, I can hardly wait to get into bed." Right? But then again, you don't know who they're sleeping with.
That's right. That's scary. Okay.
Actually, I like sleeping alone.
So, we'll have to call our secretary to end the video. She'll probably say goodnight. Unless, Ed, do you know how to shut this off?
I can shut it off.
Okay.
I can shut it off. But I'll tell you one thing right now, ladies and gentlemen. You call up and you're going to have a good time with us. I know that. And you're going to learn lots because we're going to be out there sometimes in some different situations. Like a demonstration takes place.
We'll be out on the field.
We'll go on.
We'll be out there on the field in real.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do some traveling around,
Mhm.
visit some places.
For sure.
You know what? Even overseas, I think maybe we should do
Well,
a shot.
if-
Do a shot in London,
Why not?
England, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to call up the Queen and see if, like, I lived there for 3 years. I think they're going to give
What,
me.
in the palace?
No, I'm going to just tell her I used to live there, and then see if I can get an appointment with her.
Okay.
Well, she's old now, and her husband just kicked. Didn't he? No.
No, he's still alive.
Oh well, we got to force him out.
But he's kind of like slow.
Is he?
Yeah, she's amazing. I mean,
yeah, I know.
but I don't know, he's a little weird. But anyway, she's amazing. But well, look, they have a lot of room. I'm sure they can put you up somewhere.
Oh yeah, I could,
A small room somewhere.
Yeah, I like the princess' wife. She's a nice lady.
Well, I mean, for my money, if they gave me a big bathroom, I'd be happy.
Would you?
Oh, the palace bathroom? Are you kidding?
How big is that? Have you ever been
Probably
in the
pretty
palace
big.
bathroom?
No, that's my point. It would be like a tourist attraction, I think.
Oh, maybe they got a big hot tub in there. We can invite some of the maids.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of maids in that place.
Tons of maids.
Tons of maids.
Yeah,
I wonder who the maids are for.
I don't know. It's
all she had was boys.
She had only boys. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So I wonder what the maids were doing.
Good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, see, growing up being prince might be just worth it.
Okay, anybody knows what the maids did in Buckingham Palace with all the boys? Let us know.
Oh yeah, that'd make a great story.
Yeah. Jessica, we're done.
Jessica, I'll show you. I'll show you how to turn this off. Okay, let's play.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, and have a good night. We'll talk to you next week.